Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm so excited and delighted for you to meet this incredible author. This is Karen Ann Bulluck, and she has become quite prolific in a wonderful series and is about to announce the third in her series coming out. So, Karen, would you please tell us the title of your third book, the title of your series, and tell us what this one is about?
Thank you so much for having me this morning, Bridget. I am really excited about this latest book in my series. The series is called the Ascending Ladder series, and it is a business fiction series because I am very passionate about women leaders and their role that they can play in corporate America or corporate around the world. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the US. So this latest book in the series is called Embracing Trust, and it is exactly about all of that trust. Trust is so important in our business relationships, but also in our personal relationships. And the three heroines in this series are all dealing with different aspects of trust, both in their personal lives and in their professional lives. So that's what's kind of interesting, because this book really explores trust from a lot of different angles.
Oh, it certainly does. And I love that each of your books in your series have been had their own delicious character arcs, and then you've had an overarching character arc for all three, which has been fantastic. Will you tell us a little bit about the first book and the second book, and then tell us a few juicy details about the third book?
Well, the first book is called Discovering Power, and that really focuses on the main heroine in the book, whose name is Cheryl Simmons. And she is doing sort of exactly what the title says, discovering her power. She's dealing with lots of drama in the workplace, including layoffs, which is something I know is almost always, sadly, very relevant to the workforce. And she's dealing with a lot of ethical dilemmas around that, and trying to discover what she can do, what she can't do, what her options are, and how she can have a better influence in the organization, or if that's even possible. So that's really the gist of the first book, where we get to know Cheryl and get to know some of the ethical dilemmas, which are part of the whole series involved. In the second book, we get into some interesting dynamics between Cheryl and her husband, who is one of the main characters in the second book, because he's also facing some ethical and moral dilemmas in the workplace. And we introduce a new character in the second book, Alicia, who is a work colleague of Dave's, who is Cheryl's husband. And Cheryl has, again, some interesting dynamics in her relationships with work and in her personal life. And so what we explore in the second book is Pursuing Truth, is trying to get to the bottom of a bunch of different mysteries. And one of them being the mystery of what's going on with Cheryl and Dave and Alicia, what's going on in Cheryl's office, because there's some unethical behavior that's been discovered there. And so Pursuing Truth is again, exactly that, pursuing truth from a variety of angles and in a variety of situations throughout the book. So as we get into Embracing Trust, the third book, we are dealing with basically the aftermath of all the pursuing truth in the second book. So all the trust that has been broken in the personal relationships with Cheryl and Alicia and Dave, the professional relationships with all three of them, and then we introduce a new character in book three, whose name is Gemma. And she also is facing a transition into a new situation where she doesn't know who she can trust. So we're dealing with trust from the angle of broken trust with Alicia and Dave, learning to trust again with Cheryl, and trying to navigate who to trust in a new situation with Gemma. So without giving too much of the stories away, those are kind of the baseline of where we go. And the overarching theme of all of this is how do you navigate, particularly the workplace, but even your personal relationships, with integrity, with a sense of self, with a sense of alignment with who you really are. And all of the characters from Cheryl and Dave and Alicia and Gemma are all facing those bigger picture questions throughout the series.
Yeah, and they're all threshold experiences, which is amazing. And in your own corporate work experience and in that of many of the women that you're very closely connected to, these stories are reflective of the type of things that women face, particularly in larger corporations, and that how to find your sovereign self in the middle of corporate culture and other things. So I love that you have real world experiences highlighted in this book. And I also love that you have allowed your characters to dictate where this goes. So it's not that you've had a story set in stone from the very beginning. You've actually allowed the expression of your characters. Will you tell us a little bit about that? Like what it was to discover their voices and when they would call to you in the middle of the night?
Well, fortunately, they don't do too much of the middle of the night stuff. Although sometimes as I'm drifting off to sleep, they will start speaking to me, which is not necessarily conducive to going to sleep. But the way the books evolved is that I've taken experiences, to your point, my own experiences from other people in corporate, and not just women, men, some experiences from my husband, some experiences from other people that I know. And they've kind of created the foundation for the situations and the characters in the book. So I will often go into a book with an idea of, okay, I know that I have this story or this situation that I'm aware of in one way or another through some sort of experience, news, talking to other people, whatever. And, so I kind of go into the story saying, I'm going to address this situation. But then how the situation gets addressed, how it gets evolved is very interesting because, to your point, my characters kind of dictate that. And sometimes they take me by surprise. So I know not all authors do this, but the baseline from my writing is I hear the characters talking. I hear the dialogue. I hear how they're interacting with other people. And that sort of becomes, I know it sounds a little crazy, but that becomes sort of the core of the stories. And then, I build around that. And sometimes they come up with ideas or go off in different directions. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I did not expect that. But that actually makes it fun for me too, because it keeps it fresh and interesting. And I'm not just writing off of a script or I don't do one of those, detailed outlines before I start writing. I write first and then let everything unfold.
Right. In fiction, you're called a pantser.
Yes.
But it's lovely because you already have a logical mind, and it's been really wonderful to see your freedom of expression and your creativity. Like this is a place you have allowed to grow. And it feels like just being able to be beside you during this time is like the expression has evolved further and further as you've trusted your characters to take you on the journey. And there's been a few times that's taken me by surprise too, which I love, because you think, well, the character's like this and they have this thing and they're going to do this, and there might be a tiny little surprise twist, but your characters have some beautiful surprise twists. So it's really fun. And I think the readers are absolutely going to love where you take them on this. Tell us about the delight that you have experienced in the writing, because this is different from all other business type writing that you've ever done. And tell us about what have you learned about yourself? What have you learned about your world? And what has this creativity brought you?
Wow, that's a big question. I guess the first thing I'll start with is the fact that I have learned so much over the course of writing these 3 books. And I was an English major in college. I'm a prolific reader of fiction, I will add. I do read some nonfiction, but I primarily love to read fiction. So I thought going into this, okay, I was an English major. I have all this writing experience in the workplace. I wrote workbooks, reports, a ton of writing in my corporate job. In fact, I always say that I think my writing skills were one of the things that helped me succeed in my corporate job. But starting to write fiction, to actually write it, was a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. A lot harder. And I'm very grateful to you for helping to guide me and help me grow those skills. And it's been fun. At first it was hard and frustrating. But like the first book, trying to get that out and then to learn all the skills that I needed to make good fiction was hard. But as I've learned it and as I've started to master it, it's been fun and very freeing. To your point, it's allowed just this kind of playful, creative side to come out, which is really what I wanted when I left corporate. I felt like when I was in corporate that I was, too much in a box, and that I had this really burning desire to your point, to be more expressive, to be more self-expressive, to explore this creative side that I knew I had in me, but I didn't really know how to access. So I think part of this process has just been learning how to access that creative part and trust it and allow it to come through, even when it seems a little nutty. Which sometimes it does.
Well, I think the process seems a little nutty, but your output, anything but. I love that there's bones to it. I love that there's flesh on those bones. It's a very meaty, each book is a very meaty read, and only gets better, which is fantastic. I want to address something. Just because you're not afraid to talk about elephants in any boardrooms. And that clearly shows in the level of writing that you come to the table with. Like, you're going to present real life situations and circumstances that do show up. Did that require any courage from you? Did it require just people saying, please, this has to be known? Like, where did that come from?
I think it comes in a lot of ways, from my own desire for integrity. Integrity is such a big theme in all of these books, and it's a big theme in my life. And when I see things that are happening or hear about things that are happening in corporate, for instance, without giving away the story, Embracing Trust does dive in a little bit, not great detail, but a little bit into the whole AI drama that is going on right now, for want of a better word. I wrestle with some of the stuff myself, and so when the characters are wrestling with these, I feel like I'm also going through the same process with them, if that makes any sense, and trying to come up with, where I land from an integrity standpoint. Now, not to say that I necessarily agree with everything all my characters do, but because sometimes I'm like, okay, this is what you want to do, but I'm not sure about this. But a lot of it is just trying to think about what's the right thing. As a leader, what I do. As a leader, what should we be thinking about? And how should we be maybe approaching things differently? One of the things I love about fiction is that you can bring in different points of view. And you can have the characters argue with each other, which often are internal arguments, right? And they're often different things that we read or hear in the news, or we have in conversations with other people. So some of it is really just wrestling with those ideas and then trying to come up with an inspirational way of people can look at them or think about them or deal with them. And a lot of times the characters come up with their own inspirational ways. They're not necessarily mine, but again, that's where it's fun to see where the characters are going to come with how they resolve these issues.
Yes, wonderful. And so in terms of embracing trust, tell me, what do you hope that the reader gets out of not just the whole series, but particularly this book, this one that you've poured your heart and soul into as well?
Well, what I would really like people, women in particular, but even men, is for them to feel seen and heard. Like that I get what they're going through, some of the things that they're going through, which honestly is some of the feedback I've gotten from the early readers, which has been exciting. I mean, one woman told me, I felt like you were in my head. So, which is really exciting that people feel seen and heard. And the other thing that I want people to get at is maybe some inspiration or ideas or encouragement as to how they want to move forward in their integrity and in building trust in their situations. So it's really, I want people to be inspired to say, hey, okay, this was a fictional character and she did this, and maybe I'm not going to do exactly that, but you know what, I could do this.
Absolutely.
That would be aligned with me and would be taking a small step forward to standing in their own integrity and making the workplace a better place.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. What is something you would want the readers to know about this series and about this book? Something that is a tremendous spark that may assist them in their own lives.
I think it's really the out of the box thinking throughout the series that. And I think in embracing trust, there's quite a bit of it, of out-of-the-box thinking for all three of the characters, to be honest with you. And I think that's what I would want to spark in people. The idea that you don't always have to do things the same way, even the accepted way. There are other options if we only stop and allow ourselves to be creative, to listen to our intuition. There might be more than one way of doing things. And I love the creative and out of the box thinking that the characters have. And I would hope it would encourage other people to also be creative and think outside the box.
I would agree. And I will tell you, readers, if you love fictional series, and if you would like to have something that maybe hits a little close to home and what you may be facing in your corporate environment and life, and be able to laugh and to cry and to enjoy and to really dig deeply into your own values and integrity and ask yourself some really important questions, this is the series for you.